I'll tell you the story. And this is one of the last great stories that Emanuel ever told me. And this just is how legendary and what a goat, right? Emanuel was. Like, and he lived for this stuff. He loved devising strategy for a mission impossible, right? Like Ethan Hunt. So he loved this shit. And so Don King calls him up one day and he goes, Emanuel, you know, we go way back and I need a huge favor from you. And he goes, oh shit, what is it? And he goes, look, I've got this guy who's the #1 contender and he's a mandatory challenger for Lennox Lewis's title. His name is Oliver McCall. I know exactly who he is, man. That guy's a head case. And I don't ask me to train him because I'm not going to do. Look, please, Don says, please do it, Emanuel. No one wants to work with this guy. Look, I already know his reputation precedes him. He smokes too much weed. He does too many drugs. He's not all there. And he's not disciplined. And he goes, no, but he's got this opportunity. Please. And he goes, look. What I will do for you, Don, is I'll meet with the kid. Just fly him over to the Kronk, and I'll sit down with him and I'll talk to him and I'll see where we go from there. And he goes, thank you, Emanuel. So Oliver McCall arrives, and he doesn't even see what he's got. He just sits down and he talks with him for 4 or 5 hours. And Emanuel calls up Don King and says, look, for you, Don, I'll do it, but just for this one fight and this one fight only. That's it. And so he goes, look, I'm going to train you for this fight. He tells the Atomic Bull, right? Tells Oliver McCall. And he goes, look, he's taller. He's rangier. He's stronger. He's smarter. He's got a deeper amateur background. You're completely outgunned and outmatched. But what I have noticed is the kid is way too liberal and he's brimming with confidence, almost arrogant. And the reason why I know that is because kids like that are too arrogant and too confident in themselves are way too liberal with their big right hand. Now, once again, this is before Lennox Lewis started using the jab in a disciplined manner. He was a young kid, and he was the gold medal winner. He was a real stud in the amateurs, real stud in the pros, young titleist, and so he thought no one could take his power. He thought he was the smartest heavyweight. He thought he could beat anybody and couldn't be beaten. And Emanuel goes, well, what we're going to do, because we only have 6 weeks to work. Once again, you're overmatched and you're fundamentally flawed. You don't have the same fundamental as Lewis. So what we're going to do, we're going to work on one thing and one thing only. So it's ingrained in your psyche. So it's muscle memory for you and it's automatic. As soon as you see that right hand, you're going to slip it and counter it with the overhand left, straight right hand, right left hook, straight right hand down the middle. And we're going to work on that exclusively for 6 weeks. And guess what? It worked. Midway through the fight, he slipped that right, left hook, straight right hand, and it busted Lennox Lewis and knocked him out. And that was the majesty of Emanuel Steward. He was that good, where he understood the limitations of one fighter and said, look, we are just going to work on this one thing and one thing only. This is your only chance to win. What other trainer would do that at this time?
It makes a lot more sense, too, because McCall, everybody knew he was a head case, but I didn't know. The big thing was that McCall always said, oh, they stole Emanuel from me, and I'd always kind of like, I don't know. Like, it makes sense though now.
Emanuel only agreed to do this because of his friendship, long-standing friendship with Don King. That's the only reason why, and he was only contracted for one fight. That's it. And so after that, yeah, Lennox's camp, they were so impressed that they recruited Emanuel Steward, and the rest is history. And just like Vladimir, they were like, look, You got this great deep amateur background, but you're very flawed because of your confidence. You're arrogant.
Yeah.
So we're going to teach you, once again, we're going to go back to basics. We're going to improve your footwork, and we're going to teach you how to fight behind a more intelligent jab and reserve that power right hand. And we're going to learn how to set it up the right way. And I tell you what, after that, with Lennox Lewis, aside from that Hasim Rahman blunder, he was near unbeatable at heavyweight.
Yeah.